Hi guys! So I'm bringing you a review of a product I'm really excited about. These are actually some knockoff unicorn brushes. This brand is Phony. I found them on Amazon. It's so funny to me that their name is Phony. That's like I just can't. But they are synthetic bristle unicorn brushes. They're really beautiful. I kind of went back and forth between buying the Tarte unicorn brushes or trying these out. I decided to try these out because I really needed a fan brush and some better ones for highlights and things like that. So I thought, you know what, I'll take the gamble. It might be worth it, we'll see. But this is the powder brush that comes in the set. And you can see it's synthetic bristles, but they're really beautifully colored. I will throw up the picture in the description of what it shows in the store. I'm gonna try to get it to focus. You can see there's some stray bristles that really should have been trimmed and they weren't. I think that and glue spots, which I did not have on my products, but were something I had read about in Amazon reviews, are kind of the two things holding this set back. Lastly, in the more delicate brushes, this is a eyeshadow brush. The tips definitely have some bend to them. I think though, for the most part, when I'm doing my makeup, I'm holding in the middle anyway. And really, if you're doing your makeup, you should be using a pretty light hand, not so much, you're not mashing it into your face anyway. So as long as you're careful of the ends, that was actually part of why I got this set. It's silly, but I have a lot of issues with blending my shadow gently. So I've been trying to hold the more delicate end just to kind of get me in the mindset of keeping a really light touch. But what I'm going to be doing today is actually taking you through the brushes and what I think of them as I'm doing a look. So I'm going to start with the concealer application brush. This one is a little sturdier bristles right there. They do have some bend to them, of course, but definitely different bristles than the other brushes. Another reason I chose this color set specifically is the ferrule is really big and attached really well to the handle of the brush. So this was something that just, compared to the other sets, looked a little more promising as far as adhesion. I'm going to go in with that and my Estee Lauder High Coverage Concealer in 1C. I happen to think that one does a pretty good job. I am going to take, this is kind of a flatter shadow brush. I have used these and I found that I think a few of the brushes are much better suited for blending than application. So I'm just taking a little of my face powder. That is it's the one everybody uses. I don't know why the Coty Airspun. I don't know why I blanked on that real quick. But I'm just going to blend that over my concealer to set it. And now I'm going to do a little under eye priming. I'm just trying to find concealer that'll work in the under eye area. I don't have a lot of darkness, but I do feel like I have a lot of crepiness. So I've been trying the Instant Age Rewind from Maybelline. That's one that's really always highly recommended. So I'm going to go ahead and go in with that under the eye area. And I'm going to buff that out with that same concealer brush. And I'm going to set that one just a tiny bit with that wider brush. This layer of concealer for me is more just to prime for my eyeshadows rather than actually conceal, because, you know, after that I'm going to hit it with my foundation and everything. So going in with the shadows, I wanted to do kind of a unicorn look for these unicorn brushes. I'm going to be doing the B&H Supernova palette. Like I mentioned, some of them are a little more suited for application, some are a little more suited for blending. I think for my eyes specifically, they're a little bit big, and you'll probably notice that as I'm doing my makeup. I am going to start with this wide brush right here, and I'm going to go in with, how about Phoenix, all over my lid. So that gives us a nice shimmery, glistening base to work with. I'm going to bring it in a little closer. And next, I'm going to be going in the crease area with Aurora. So that's that shade. One thing I kind of have been having an issue with, both with these brushes and with this palette, is that it can be kind of uneven as far as how much color it'll pick up. And the brushes themselves, they're just a little bit too long. I think if it was this length, then it would be more effective at putting the shadow where I want, but with how long they are, you can see that once you press it in the eye, it's kind of just going everywhere. There's a lot of gaps. This one, again, you have an issue with the cut of the bristles. So, worth keeping in mind. I mean, I think that they're good brushes, especially for the price, but they're not without fault. So next, we are going to go in with that basic shadow brush I used for all over. And I'm going to add the shade Nova in my outer corner of my lid here. I'm tapping this in a lot because I've noticed with this palette I have a lot of fallout if I'm not careful about the way I apply. And I actually used this shade in my last tutorial. You can see really by the colors you pair it with, it's very easy to darken or lighten. I feel like I'm always in one of, I have two moods, right? I either want to be dark and gothy and stay inside and not talk to anybody, or lots and lots of bright colors. I'm going to take that same brush and add the shade Capricorn where that blue is coming out. And I'm going to go in with that same concealer brush I used before with the shade Pegasus, which is perfect for our unicorn palette, even though, I mean, technically a unicorn with wings is called an alicorn, but I don't know. I'm not a pony scientist. I don't think you are either. And I'm going to use that one in the inner corner of my lid. And then I'm actually going to take that same brush and just mimic my colors from above on my lid down under the eye. So now I'm gonna, this was kind of a big reason I got it, was fallout. I'm gonna use my fan brush to just sweep out from under. This is what's frustrating to me, okay? This fan brush has like almost no bristles compared to the picture. Again, I knew going into it that these would be knockoff brushes, but I don't know. Sometimes I do have a little bit higher expectations, like is it really that hard to put enough hairs in a brush? These were a little hit and miss, as I mentioned. So I'm going to go in with a Q-tip and some makeup remover. I'm going to go back in with the shade Nova and just kind of add a little more color to the outside edges. I think that this is a good time to mention my biggest issue with these brushes is size. I mean, you can see me doing it. Really, for me to get what I need at all on my lid, I have to be putting the brush all clear into my crease. That's ridiculous. There's not any reason for a brush to be this big. It's a good comparison. So here's a size comparison of the phony brush and it sounds like I'm saying phony like fake, but that's literally the name of the brand. The phony brush versus my Eco Tools eyeshadow brush I normally use. It's huge. It's like double the size. My eyes are just not that big. I don't know. It's something I really don't like about it. It's, I think, the biggest fault I have for this brand, and that's why I said I'm going to be using them a lot more for blending than application probably, which is fine. I needed better blending brushes, but if you're buying these as a standalone set, I think that there are cheaper ones you could get, like the Eco Tools one that I use usually. What I'm going to do right now is take the brush that's actually intended for blending. I have all this glitter on my hand now. And I'm just going to kind of smooth out my edges a little bit. I might use some of my face powder too, just to kind of mattify. I've got a lot of shimmer going on. Why is this happening? This one looks like very blue pigmented. The other side here is just not, and I didn't even intend for the blue to be there, but now that it is, I really do need it to stay. It's a little better. It's not really better. So I already have enough highlight going on with my brows. I am going to take a little bit of my face powder, that Coty Airspun, and just kind of blend in the brow area. Okay, so I don't know, it came out okay. Okay, so I had to make some space on my phone to film the rest of the video, but I'm back. While I was doing that, I went ahead and took care of my liner and my lashes, and we had a major lighting change because a storm started. So we're going to keep on though. I'm going to finish up the video for you guys because I really want to show you how the face brushes work because I think that they're the way better part of the collection.